Hey everybody, it's Chris Kirkpatrick with Life 180, and we are here in the Better Wealth Studios in Denver, Colorado with my buddy Caleb Williams with Better Wealth. And I want to do a video right now on the top 5 ways that you can invest in yourself. I think Caleb and I have talked about this, and we both are very intentional about the way that we live our lives. And so with that said, we believe that if you want to be successful, if you want to live a bigger life, and you need to be intentional about it, and you need to focus on your own development.
Right.
And the hard part is that, to me, success is different for everybody, right?
Yep.
You need to find ultimately who has the life that you want to live and emulate that until you get there and connect with them. And so I think the first one on this list is ultimately finding a mentor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so talk to me a little bit about like your thoughts on the importance of a mentor.
Yeah.
And I know like mentors come in all different shapes and sizes, right? Sometimes there's somebody who's close to you in your life and, they're just willing to help you. Maybe you're working with them in a business and they're coaching you. Maybe you have to pay for them, but like talk to me kind of your perspective on different,
mentorship is really important because at the end of the day, a lot of times you don't believe in yourself or you might not be able to see something. And so this would almost be like a mentor and a coach, but early on, if you want to invest in yourself, you have to find someone that's gone before you that can like really pour into you. And so, I got parented well, but my parents were not entrepreneurs. They were not into money at all. And so my story has been like, I've had multiple people at different stages of my life pour into me. There was someone that for my 15th birthday or 16th birthday, they gave me a subscription to a newsletter that just helped me start reading about stocks and gold and all this stuff. And so I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And that took me to finding another person who helped me get a job at a bank at 17. One phone call.
Nice.
And then at the bank, there was someone that took me to a networking event. And that networking event, I met some other people. And then when I started getting into this business, I started finding people that were like super, super smart, that understood all this stuff. We use a lot of calculators on our YouTube channel. And I learned that from the founders. And so that's an example of like, I like took one step at a time, and my mentors not only taught me specialized knowledge, but they also helped me see what's possible. And I will say this is not one of the 5, but the prerequisite is have an idea of where you want to go. Because if you have an idea where you want to go, these five areas that we're going to talk about are going to be a game changer for you.
Yeah, having the clarity on the front end. To me, clarity is the most important part. But this is all about investing in yourself, right?
Yep.
So to be able to invest in yourself effectively, you have to have that clarity.
Yep.
Right. That's the doorway to be able to do this effectively. And so that's mentoring. And you just actually kind of mentioned number 2, which is network, building a network. And there's a phrase going out there, your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a really kind of, in my opinion, overused at this point in time, but it is also true.
Yeah.
And talk to me, because you are an amazing networker. I mean, last night you had some people come over to the house that were they're awesome, and they're just driving through town and needed a crash pad. But we ended up going out and having a conversation, and they're great people. And you are supremely networked, and you're very intentional about how you network. But I mean, I also know that you network from an authentic place, and I just want to say this: you can't network with anybody hoping to get something out of them. It's always got to be about how can you serve them, how can you add value to their life, first and foremost, with no expectation of anything in return. And I know that's really hard for some people, but I want to say that because this guy does that better than anybody I've ever met in my life. And that's a big compliment to him. But it also has shown up in spades every time. I come up here to Denver every couple months. But every time I come up, it's like he's got a new contact and a new connection and people that are looking to serve him. But it's amazing if people know that your heart is of service and that you want to serve them and that there are no strings attached, they're going to want to help you in ways that you never even thought possible. So talk to everybody a little bit about like how you network, how you do it intentionally, what your mindset is, where your heart is, and like what's your
when my first networking event, I was 19 years old. I came to, it was very intimidating. I think it was something like the business council put it on, and the guy that took me to the networking event, he had his cards. He gave me a couple. I wrote my name on the back, and when we got to the door, he said, "Caleb, 2 things: don't be my shadow, and don't drink alcohol.
Nice.
Like I'm responsible if something bad happens. And so that was the best thing that ever happened to me, because one of the first things that people need to hear is there's anxiety of just like going up and meeting people. And for me, sometimes I forget it because I genuinely love people, but like there's an anxiety to like, there's a confidence issue. It goes back to like a mentor will be able to establish so much. And so the first thing that you want to be able to do is seek first understand. If you want to be like, you want the secrets of being able to network, read the book Give and Take by Adam Grant. And truly any person that you meet, ask the question, how can you give with zero expectation? One of the other secrets is there's many times where I will go to a place to network. I don't love that name, by the way, but it's the best for what we're trying to talk about.
For sure.
And I won't say anything about our business, because we think that an elevator pitch is the way to go. We think having the best business card is the way to go. I haven't given a business card out in over 2 years. Why? Because I want to serve you. And there's nothing wrong with the business card. I just feel like a lot of people hide behind their brochure. They hide behind their business card, and they're not being intentional to be like, I can help you. Adam Grant talks about a 5-minute favor. The 5-minute favor goes, if Chris and I are talking and I'm finding out, wow, you have a YouTube channel, wow, you help people get more leads, oh, you help entrepreneurs be more efficient and optimize what they're doing. I know 3 or 4 people that I can put you in touch, and now I'm the connector and you're gonna love me. The other thing is I want to show just like, so I started from just like going and participating in networking events, and now like I host dinner parties. I pay 100% for the dinner. We're talking like over $1,000 dinner. People come in, and the purpose of that is just to get to know people at a more genuine level. Since time is my biggest resource, I don't have time to go on 10, 15 dinners.
Right.
But if I host one dinner time, be able to share my story, share my heart, and hear others, it's just that's taking it to the next level. So if you want to invest in yourself, really understand networking, but don't do it in the way that like maybe some books are saying. Take a step back and saying, how can I be of value? How can I be a positive influence on other people? And how can, when someone sees me, that they can smile because they're like, man, I love Caleb because he's life-giving and he really cares about me. And if you can get that, there's literally like you will be set for the rest of your life.
1,000%. And so I would also say, so we talked about mentoring and networking at this point in time. And I think your first mentor said the first thing, just don't be a shadow, right? Like, and I think to like take that to the next level is also like you want to, as you go through life, and I know this has been for me, and I think it's been for you as well, and I think anybody who hits a significant level of success, you at times will outgrow the mentor that you have in that moment. And you're going to go through and you're going to have different mentors, and you're going to have sometimes multiple mentors at the same time. Like you'll have a mentor for business, and you'll have a mentor for your relationships. You'll have a mentor in just different areas of your life, and that's totally okay. But I think the biggest thing is to always be committed to this kind of, I'll just call it self-directed education, right? And always realize like, okay, it's the 4 levels of awareness, right? The unconscious incompetence, and then the conscious incompetence, and then the conscious competence, and then the unconscious competence, right? Like as you go through that process, your mentor is going to help like pull off the veil, you know, and as you become kind of, let's say, consciously competent, you're going to want to push yourself and grow, and you got to be really plugged into a system and like get into reading books, get into like making sure that you're watching the right videos, buying the right courses, getting in the right communities, and like investing in yourself from that perspective, and like really, I mean, what do they say? The average CEO reads 52 books a year, like a book a week. And so I know for me, the biggest shift that I had in my life is when I was like really dedicated to reading all these books. And I had like 2 or 3 mentors at the time, but honestly, I think the biggest shifts in my life came from books. You know? Like totally. So I think
same. Is this number 3?
This is number 3.
The number 3, we talk about invest in education, but really invest in reading 10 books a year. Like I know, like we can throw up the average CEO. If you read 10 books a year, it's gonna change your life.
100%.
And I'll tell you some of the books that I read when I was even before 18. I read Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad Poor Dad, How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, The One Thing. Like you can start getting, you're starting to get a theme. If you've read any of those books, they've been really impactful. And I've read most of those books multiple times. Why? Because when I was 17, 18 years old, it was like, man, I can't believe I'm learning all this stuff. Like I truly felt wealthy, even though I didn't have a lot of money, and I didn't even know at 18 what I really wanted to do.
Right.
But I just knew like I was like learning some secrets that shouldn't be a secret, but like a lot of people were not applying in their life.
Well, and I think it's key to understand. So, being in the financial space as a background and growing a business and having that focus, the concept of compounding growth, we always talk about that with money, but I think it absolutely applies with our knowledge and with our own abilities. Like people, I believe people way overestimate what they can do in a month or 6 months or even a year, and a lot of times, but they way underestimate what you can accomplish over 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And if you just really start with that clarity and have like realistic expectations that you're committing to a process with all this, from your mentorship to the building your network, you're not going to like grow this. I mean, unless you get really lucky, you're not going to grow this immense, amazing network in like 3 months. And you got to be committed to a process, right? You're not going to like be this huge leader. Listen, Bill Gates started like at the time Bill Gates started, he never would have imagined he built the company he built, right? Like it's little by little by little, and the compound growth effect is amazing. And you only get that by doing it consistently. And all of this stuff has to be done intentionally.
Yes. And the two things I'll say is the difference between a lead measure and a lag measure. Just going back to what you're saying about the process. A lot of times we want to see the result immediately. I would focus on what do I need to put, what inputs do I need to put in for the output? So for instance, if it's reading, what are the 10 books that if I read, good things will happen? And you are successful if you've read those books, not if you've applied them. And and again, that's the next step. But it's like we sometimes get so focused on like the someday in the future result, what this looks like, and we fail to show up every day consistently. And so investing in your education is super important. You could do it for free.
And I'm so passionate about books personally because they changed my life. And the reason is, and I'm going to piggyback on what you just said, and then we'll move on to the next one, but is one of the phrases that I use in Life 180 all the time is change your thinking, change your action, change your life. Everything that you have in your life, the life that you want is dictated by the actions that you take. The actions that you take are dictated by your thinking. The easiest way to change your thinking is reading as many books as possible. I promise, like that is success. Like if you can reprogram your brain and thinking, and we all are brought up, if you went through any kind of public education system or whatever, we all need to reprogram in thinking on some level, right? So that if you do nothing but read books, that will change your thinking, and whether you realize it or not, you're going to be a different person a year from now than you are today. Like period. There's no way around that. So all right, so that's 3. Number 4 is having specialized knowledge and really focused in on specialized knowledge. Like for me, I went through the financial space, and now I'm focused on business development, and I focus on helping people, launch, advance, and optimize their businesses online. Caleb is the financial whiz guy here, and like we both have passions for doing what we do and serving people that we do, but it's also very specialized, and that allows us to kind of serve on a bigger level. So talk to me your perspective on why having specialized knowledge and investing in yourself to have that specialized knowledge is so important.
Well, it's interesting because we're going to talk a little bit about value a little bit later, but specialized knowledge is essentially your ability to serve people in a more valuable way. And what I find is a lot of people want to go to school and they want to get their MBA, or they want to go and learn, and they want to, like, the idea of a bachelor's is like to be well-rounded. And this is actually a concept that I picked up from Think and Grow Rich. It's like the world will compensate you for the specialized knowledge that you can bring. Ultimately, the world will compensate you for the type of problems, the bigger problems that you can solve in their life. I had Dave Meltzer actually on my podcast the other day, and he said something that just really resonated with me, because I wanted him to talk about, like, investing in so that you can become more valuable. And he said, it's not just value, it's your ability to communicate that value. It's the ability for the marketplace to see that value. And so for me, I got in the financial service business, and what everyone's saying is, get all your license, be well-rounded, be a financial advisor. And I looked at myself and said, okay, if I'm competing with all the other financial advisors just the same, why in the world would someone come to me, other than if you're friends and family? Why would you actually come to me when you could come to the person that has the exact same pitch and has just been doing this for 30 years longer? And so I realized, it's like, what do I actually want to do? Who do I need to become to get people from all around the country, all around the world to like want to work with us. It's what problems can we solve? And so I took that approach to actually learning, and that's when I got mentored, when I got, understand money. A lot of people ask, like, you look like you're so young, do you ever have an issue? I personally don't, because I'm like extremely competent about what we do, and it's not because I'm super smart. I'm not. It's because I've done the work, I've spent the money, like I've put in the time to have that specialized knowledge, and now we're building a team around that. And so just to go off of what you're saying, like specialized knowledge is very, very important. If you have clarity on where you want to go, your mentors, the network, the book should all help you get to that specialized knowledge, because the smartest person in the world or the room a lot of times can be the brokest.
Yeah, 100%. Well, and so from that perspective, I would say that I'm a big believer in what we call the confidence competence loop, right? So like when you start off, it's okay. It starts with passion, right? Like you are so passionate about what you do, and that that makes it so you have dove into this, and so you questioned yourself initially, right? Not questioned yourself, but you knew the questions in your head were, why would they work with me if they could work with somebody else?
Self-awareness.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, you have to have that self-awareness, and you have to be willing to be bad to be good. Like my favorite quote of all.
That's not what you're going to tell your daughter when she starts dating, though, right?
You watch yourself. So the quote, I actually just got a sign made. I'm putting this up in my office.
I love that.
On Etsy. It's if it's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly until you're good at it.
I like it.
And so if you start with passion and you get behind something that you know in your gut that you are going to be committed to, that you want to make a huge impact in the world with, then go out and there are people you can serve, right? There are people that you're ahead of. Maybe you're not where, some people are, but you got to get there, right? Like, and you got to be willing to be bad until you're good at it. But now let's go back to investing in yourself. If you get the right mentor, if you surround yourself with the right network, if you read the right books, that's going to allow you to like really grow in that specialized knowledge. And the confidence competence loop is all about, listen, like the more confidence is the number one indicator for success, right? Period. Across the board. I mean, there's study after study that shows it's not your intellect, it's your confidence. I mean, you have to have a baseline of intellect, obviously, but competence, the more competent you are, the more confidence that you have, and the more confidence you have, the more you're willing to push to learn more and do more and push your envelope and expand your comfort walls, right? Like, and your discomfort walls, I guess, and just be able to do more. So, like, I think that's a really big thing to kind of think about as you go through this. Now, let's talk about number 5, which is understanding value creation. And I know it's kind of an extension of 4 in a way, but it's
a lot of times people ask me, Caleb, what's the inflation protected plan? And it's like whatever creates the most value.
Yeah.
Because think about this, money will always follow value.
100%.
Whether it's you want to increase what you make at a job, whether it's you want to show up more powerfully at work, whether it's you want to find the best investment, what pays the most. Like, let's look at the stocks that are highest right now. I promise you that they're going to be companies that create the most value. Everyone wants to give Jeff Bezos a hard time.
Yeah.
We use Amazon every week. So do you. And so we can't deny that they're not providing value. And so one of the things that I just want to encourage everybody is, if you really want to invest in yourself, from the very beginning, this maybe should have been the first first point that we made, whether it's your mentors, your network, what you read. Make sure that you have value created in every area, and that will ultimately allow you to have that specialized knowledge that will be able to articulate the kind of value that you'll be able to share in the world. And remember what Dave Meltzer said, it's not necessarily how much value you will think you're valuable. I think I'm valuable. Chris thinks he's valuable.
Perceived value.
It does not matter if you don't see the value. Right. It goes back to the marketplace.
100%.
If the marketplace doesn't say that you're valuable, you're not valuable. Again, don't
take it personal.
Yeah, don't take it personal. Right. It's just like, if your message is not resonating, if you're sharing what you do and people decide not to work with you, that's not their fault. That's your fault on your lack of ability to communicate. And I'm speaking to myself right now, because time and time again, even now, we need to get better in this area of articulating our value and making sure that we continue to be relevant and valuable for people.
100%. That's awesome. I
love it.
This is great. So I hope that serves you in some way, guys. Like, this is literally, you're right. We should have put understanding value creation at the beginning. But hey, we're we're just trying to create content to serve people, and so hopefully this served you in some way. If it did, go ahead, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, we're putting out content like this all the time. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Check out Caleb's channel as well. I'll put a link for it below. And hit the bell when you subscribe. That way you get notified every time we put out a new video. And go out and crush it. Have an amazing, blessed, inspirational day, and we'll talk to you on the next video.